Christian Audio, a division of Recorded Books, presents Letting Go, Finding You. Uncover Your Truest Self Through the Enneagram and Contemplation by Hunter Mobley. Foreword by Suzanne Stabile. Narrated by John Patrick Walsh. Foreword by Suzanne Stabile. I first met Hunter Mobley in 2014 while teaching an Enneagram workshop on Gasparilla Island in Florida. My husband, Reverend Joseph Stabile, and I were seated for the celebratory dinner marking the end of the event when Hunter and a friend chose to sit at our table. We found Hunter to be well-read and well-spoken. He was mature beyond his years and relational in a way that offered comfort to all who were seated at our table. As with most events like this one, I was questioned about the Enneagram, and of course one answer led to another question, and another, and another. I was intrigued with Hunter's curiosity because he was interested in Enneagram wisdom beyond just his personality type. And though everyone at the table was new to the Enneagram, he had an awareness of other human beings that exceeded his age, and the depth of his questions was beyond the usual. In the years following our first introduction, I taught on several occasions in Nashville, where Hunter lives. He attended each event, and we managed to find time for coffee or to share a meal. It seemed that the more time we spent together, the more he wanted to learn from me, and the more there was to know about him. During those years, I taught a 3-year apprentice program for those who were committed to a long and deep journey through the many facets of Enneagram wisdom. Hunter applied, and we were pleased to welcome him into the growing community of Life in the Trinity ministry. As a result, we had an opportunity to get to know him better, and when some years had passed, Joe invited Hunter to join him in teaching a new cohort, Enneagram and Contemplative Spirituality, as part of our work at our center in Dallas. Joe and Hunter are both educated in Enneagram spiritual wisdom, and both are theologians and pastors. They have created a learning experience for participants that is now in its 8th year, and some of the fruit from that work has resulted in Hunter writing this beautiful book. I suppose every person's relationship to the Enneagram is necessarily unique. My journey started when Father Richard Rohr chose to begin teaching me this ancient spiritual wisdom over 30 years ago. While I'm honored to have 3 books published, I'm a teacher who happens to write books. My husband is a pastor who happens to also teach. Hunter is a pastor who knows and understands the Enneagram in relation to the theology that is foundational in the cohort he and Joe lead together. It is where he has developed his expertise in understanding passions and virtues, as taught in ancient Enneagram spiritual wisdom, and it is in this book that he has reunited the Enneagram with a spiritual approach. Honestly, this book is a long time coming, and it could only be written by one who has chosen to be vulnerable enough to allow life to change them in some significant way. In hearing parts of Hunter's story throughout the book, you will recognize his courage in choices that were, by their very nature, life-changing. He writes, "The journey often takes us by surprise, and who we become in the process often has more to do with what has happened to us than any undertaking of our own. That is a perfect example of the wisdom in the marriage between the Enneagram and theology." In the chapters that follow, you will be introduced to Enneagram passions and their virtues. And, uncharacteristically for most Enneagram books, you will find that equal attention is paid to both. Hunter teaches with clarity the journey from virtue to passion and back again, using contemplative living as the cornerstone. He offers for consideration a host of spiritual practices that are both traditional and new. My favorite is simply titled, Stuff. As you will learn, it turns out that the story, your story, begins in virtue. Quoting Hunter, "Good news comes before the bad. Blessing comes before cursing. The virtues are hidden within us from the very beginning." It has been my experience that good teachers and accomplished writers of nonfiction have at least this one thing in common. They describe for us things that we know to be true.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?